Well, good morning, everybody. Let me make sure that my microphone is hooked up here. We had some issues the other day, so let me just make sure we're hooked up here. It looks like if you're watching this, hopefully you can hear me. You can hear me better now. There we go. Let's go ahead and dive in. Today's topic, mastering seller lead generation, step-by-step Facebook ad setup strategy. We're going to give you all the nitty-gritty and walk through this play-by-play, how I successfully converted or actually generated over 12,000 leads in a single year. And this is one of the kind of unique steps or processes that I was actually deploying in my real estate business. And we're going to deploy it today live in today's session. Hopefully you're having a fantastic start to your first day of school. Maybe you're not going to school, but maybe your littles are. Hopefully they had a great morning and are getting rolling and you're getting saddled in and strapped up, because this is going to be informational. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. We're going to, again, walk through play by play what we're doing, how we're going to help you generate some seller leads. And you can go do this out on your own, or if you want us to deploy this strategy for you, you can sign up for our services at goleadmagnet.com/realtor. If you want to learn and you want to do all this on your own, be sure to watch us on YouTube and like, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications. And lastly, join our Facebook lead generation group if you haven't done so already. The solution that we're going to use today is we're going to use a couple of them. We're going to use ManyChat. Most of you might know what ManyChat is, but it's basically a third-party solution that gives you the ability to go ahead and create a connection to your Facebook business page and then deploy automations. Maybe it's a follow-up chat, maybe it's a support chat, maybe it's for ad strategy, which I'm going to show you how to do today. And then we're also going to use an API endpoint called RealtyMole. This is one of my favorite ones to actually use. They get their data from third-party syndicated websites. It's an accumulation, and they have an algorithm where they go and basically generate these actual valuations. It's really cool because you could actually build get property sale listings. You can get rental listings. You could actually get property records if you want to. And we're going to do a couple topics and couple sessions on this API endpoint, because there's a lot that you could actually do with it. So for example, if I wanted just to go ahead and get property records, I'll go ahead and test this endpoint. And then it's going to go ahead and give me a response here. And you can see that it gives me a response based off of random property records. So we got a bunch of randoms. But you could also dial this in. So if you want to get property records based off of an address, for example, if you want to go ahead and look up this address, you could go ahead and do that. And then it gives you all the details and information about that actual property, which is really, really, really slick. So maybe you want to set up some sort of automation with like make.com, where it runs a recurring API call to this endpoint and then generates a new contact inside of your database. You could absolutely do that. You could even set if or else statements inside of your make to have it filter so that it's only pulling in maybe people who've bought their home in the last X amount of years, or who have even or are even paying X amount on property taxes, or their home values increased by a certain percentage. But we'll go down that rabbit hole at a later date. Today, what I'm going to show you is how you can basically use this get property value estimate endpoint to generate a home value that you can then return directly through Facebook Messenger. This is exactly my strategy that I was using when I was generating hundreds and hundreds of leads every month and people wanting their home value. It's a simple way to actually get this done. And let's go ahead and start doing that. So let's head into ManyChat. And if you haven't done so already, I apologize for this screen here. I am an affiliate with ManyChat, just as a disclaimer there. But what we're going to do is go into growth tools. And I've already got this one kind of pre-set up. The one we're going to use is this user clicks Facebook ad, because I basically want this to trigger anytime they click that Facebook ad. It sends them a message from my business page. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You can see it gives me some JSON. Don't worry, you don't have to be an expert coder here to deploy this strategy, but let me just kind of walk you through this. So basically what's going to happen is anytime the user clicks a ad or my Facebook ad, I want it to send an opt-in message, and then I want it to do some sort of actions, right? So that's basically what this is doing. So what I've done here is I've gone ahead and we'll go ahead and say hi, and we'll input like a waving hand, right? I like to do the waving hand. You type in hello, it gives you that waving hand. Are you interested in knowing your home's value? Question mark. And we'll go ahead and say, yes, I am, question and exclamation point. And then basically what happens here, apologize for the dog here in the background, but what happens here is we're going to go ahead and say, yes, I am. When they click this button, let's send them another message. And you could label these messages, right? So we're going to say this is the opt-in message. They don't see this, but this is just for organizational purposes. And then basically what I want to do is send them another message. So here we go. Let's send them another message. So they're interested in their home value. Let's ask them for their email. So we're going to say ask for email as our name here. And then what is a good email to send the report to? And then we'll go ahead and select email from this drop down. We'll save it as a system field here. And then I also want to ask them if they would like to go ahead and would you like to receive monthly updates via SMS about your home's value? Question mark. And we'll insert the phone number here. And we'll go ahead and save it here. This could be an opt-in. They could also go ahead and skip. There will be a skip button on here so that they don't have to if they don't want to. And then since I added that, I'm going to go ahead and change this. So we're going to say lead capture. We don't have to worry about their first and last name because that's already going to come in when they message our page. So we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So basically what I'm going to do now is let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and send another message here. And this message is basically going to ask for their full address. So what is your full address? And you could put an example here if you want to. 1234 Main Street. So that they know how to do it, right? So they know how to input it. Here we go. We'll put the zip code. And then basically what I'm going to save this as is let's save it as text. And we're going to save this as a custom field. So I want to save this as full address in a custom field in the user. So there we go. We're going to save that in user fields. And now we have the full address. So what I want to do is when they reply on, I want to do basically a next step. I want to add an action. And then this action is going to basically be retrieve the home value. And let's head over to the property mole. And this is super, super simple. It's super easy to set up. Let me go into code snippets here. And we're going to make a get. You can see here we have some Node.js. So this is basically, if I wanted to use like a Zapier or something, I could actually take this entire code and run a code by Zapier. Or they also have like C-curl. So you can see that here where you'll make an API call to that endpoint, or they also have like JavaScript, HTTP, just depending on what you're trying to do here. So I'm going to go back to Node.js here, and let's just use the HTTP call. And what I need is, actually, let's go to Node.js and do a request. What I need is this link right here because I'm going to ask for the sell price. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. And inside of Facebook here or inside of ManyChat, we're going to go ahead and add an action. And our action is going to be an external request. Our external request is going to be a GET statement, and we're going to plug in that API endpoint. And then we also need some headers. So we need to go into here and see what headers are being are necessary. So we'll go ahead and copy those. And please, please, please don't try and copy my API key here. I just ask that you don't do that because you'll run up our cost here. In fact, I'll probably just create a new one here once we're done with this demonstration. But here we go. We'll go ahead and do this. And we'll copy all of the requirements for the header. This is just all of our authorization. So basically, most API endpoints require that you have some sort of credentials or authorization in order to access their structure, right, or their API endpoints. So there we go. Then we just need to know what we need. So we have the address here. So there we go. We'll copy that address. And then in response, or actually in headers, up here, we're going to go question mark equals because we need to write a query here. So we're going to go question mark equals, and this is backwards, question mark address equals. And then we'll put the full address in there, and we should be good. So question mark full address input there. And then basically what we need to do too is we need to save the response. So let's go into here and do some example responses. And I want to copy this schema. And let's go into JSONpathfinder.com and then basically paste that schema in there. And you can see it gives you some paths here. So you could save the price. You could also save price range low, price range high. You could store these as like a variable or as a response inside of your mini chats. So basically what I'm going to do is just store the price here. And let's go ahead and copy that. So it gives me an X path. So basically inside of mini chat, you're not going to want the X path. You're going to want the, they have the $ path. And then we'll basically just go ahead and do this. So we'll remove that X path, save the price. And then we'll go ahead and save this or into price range, right? So I'm going to say price range, and let's go ahead and save that. So now that that is complete, basically what we have is we're actually capturing their details. We're then going to ask them for their address. Once we get that address, we're going to go ahead and retrieve that home value. And then directly in here, I can go ahead and reply into like a user input. So I could say your home value is estimated at, and then we'll put that price range into here. There we go. Actually, I don't want to save that. Sorry. I want to put that in here. So we'll put that as a variable in here. And then you might even put the $ before it because it's not going to actually return the $. So there we go. And then essentially what I need to do is you could add more steps to this if you wanted to. Like I could delete this, and instead of doing user input, I can make this a button. So I can go ahead and say too low, too high. And you could get really, really kind of customized or customizable with this, right? So you could go ahead and set this action. You can make that a custom field. But for time purposes, and what I found works is just keep it simple, give them the value. Don't ask them a bunch of questions after that. So let's just keep this simple, and we'll put user input. There we go. And then if I wanted to, we could just save this as a response. Right, so we'll just save this as a response if they reply to it. And basically what I want to do now is go ahead and, I don't know why it's still got that. So let's see here. User input, keyboard response, saved it. Okay, there we go. So now what you can do if you want to get really kind of fun or have some fun with this is you can, I actually changed the opt-in message. So let's go back and undo that. Let's not change that opt-in message. So let me go all the way back here just by hitting the refresh button. And let's go back one more. It's the nice thing about ManyChat is they have this undo button. So they're storing kind of everything that you've inputted. All right, so let's go ahead and delete that. And then we'll go ahead and just input this one more time. And let's go ahead and store that as a response. So if they respond to this, then we're good, right? So if they respond, now what you can do is if you want to get really kind of customizable with this, or you want to get really flexible with this, some cool things that you can do are if you have like ChatGPT and you want this to loop or do whatever it is that you might want it to do, you can absolutely have it do that, or I can just have it do an action and send a notification to like notify signees here to people via email. Right. And then also, if you want to integrate this into your third party, like you want to have this contact come into your database, you could either use ManyChat's contact creation inside of Zapier, or if I wanted to, I could say action on reply here. And I can make a create contact action here. So I can go there. We could say action. I want an external request. And basically here, what I can do now is if I want this to go into my lead magnet dashboard, and we'll get this set up for you when you sign up for our done for you services, if this is an actual strategy that you want to deploy. But basically what we're going to do is make a contact post to the API endpoint. And we'll go ahead and do this. And then we'll go ahead and copy in the body, right? So basically what I need to do, apologize, got something on my eye here. We can go ahead and copy in the body here. And then we just need to change out these details. So we'll say email, we'll say phone, because we captured their phone number and that stored it into the phone. We already have their full first name and last name. So we don't have to really worry about that. And then you also have their full name. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and use that. And then we additionally have their address. So if we wanted to, we could plug in their address here. So we can go ahead and say full address right there. And then they have it broken down. So I actually haven't sent it into Lead Magnet yet. So I'll have to figure out if we have to maybe parse it or compile it a little bit for it to actually take. But let's go ahead and do this. And we'll set this up. And I'm just showing you this as an action. So we'll go ahead and say our website is MiniChat. You could add your tags. So you could say like Facebook seller ad, no spaces. So Facebook seller ad. And then you should be good to roll, right? So we'll go ahead and do that, and that is done. And then custom fields, that's if you want to add like custom fields to it. So let's go ahead and save this, and we are good to go, right? So it's not going to trigger. I haven't fully set it up just yet, but let's go ahead and move on because basically I want to show you the ad creation, right? Everything else is already done. So you can see, yes, I am. What is a good email to send your report to? So we can say ernest@goleadmagnet.com. And then basically it's going to ask me if I would like to receive updates. Yes, this is going to give me updates. So now it's got my address. And let's go ahead and do this. So we'll go ahead and say with the full address. Boom, boom. And this is not going to trigger the webhook right now because we're just doing a preview. But had we done it, it would actually respond with an actual value right there. And they can go, that's great or whatever, and then it'll ping you guys. So you could add on to the end of the sequence if you wanted to, but we just leave it at that because we're capturing the value, creating the lead in your database. And then essentially what we're going to do is go ahead and use this for our advertisement. So we're going to go ahead and go here and say user Facebook JSON. So we're going to go ahead and update this so that updates. It updated my JSON. There we go. I copied it. Now let's head into our Facebook Ads Manager and start creating our ads. So we're going to do this as a leads ad here. And then basically we're going to do this as seller lead generation. You can name your campaign whatever you want. And then basically what we need to do is have our ad sets, right? So I'm going to have multiple ad sets because I'm going to run this in both Spokane and San Antonio. So let's start off just with San Antonio here for now. And then we'll say San Antonio as our ad. But you could always go back later on and create another ad set. So we're going to go ahead and click on continue. I want to do manual leads. And then from here, what I need to do is select special ads category. And we are running a messengers ad. So let me turn on advanced budget. I'm going to always start this at $5 a day. That's where we see to make sure we're going to get some results. And then we crank it up based off of your budget. So I'm going to get messenger leads. So we're going to generate chat leads. And then I want to run this from this one right here. So there we go. We'll run it from that one. And then I need to go ahead and set my location. So this is going to be in San Antonio. So let's go ahead and do that. So San Antonio, and we'll run it in the demographic of San Antonio here. I'm not going to put any behaviors or anything like that. I want everybody to see this just in case we come across a seller. And now you got to create your ad copy. So for here, there's a couple things that you can do. You could actually input a video if you wanted to here. So if we go here and remove all this, you could use some of your videos. So we got a ton of videos in here. I might use something like this right here and then go ahead and do that. And yeah, you'll basically create your video. I'll just show you the rest of this right here really fast. It's going to be a send message. And then basically what I want to do is when they send me a message, I need to essentially have this go to a create option. So here we go, advanced, and then you'll put in your JSON, right? So that is how you'll get this entirely set up. It's fully customized. And then basically anytime somebody messages you, they'll be delivered a home values. So if you want this, go ahead and try and rewatch this as many times as possible. Share it with everybody you know. Additionally, if you haven't signed up for our services, click on that Go Lead Magnet down below.com/realtor. Just to kind of show you, we have some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. If you want access to our lead magnet real estate centric CRM snapshot, you can go ahead and get access to that for as little as $97 a month plus usage. If you want me to just run your ads, it's $199 plus. Right now we're at a $299 setup fee. And then if you want everything done for you, including the dashboard and all the follow-up, we have that right now for $750 a month. So go ahead and sign up. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, and be sure to share this Facebook group with all your friends who are real estate agents that you might know who will benefit from these types of ad strategies. Hopefully you've taken some value away. Happy Monday, everybody. Have a